Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me for episode 5 of Wind Down Wednesday. I'm very excited about tonight's episode. So just briefly before we start, I just wanted to say if you've been enjoying this work, if you've been enjoying these meditations, I encourage you to check out my book, Spiritual Integration. It's a step-by-step process that helps you learn how to work with your own energy, to get in touch with that source of divine flow, to get in touch with your intuition. And I've set it up so that I have guided meditations on my website that accompany the book to help you work through each step. And then, as always, I'm available for one-on-one help if you ever need it. So you can visit paulataylorenergy.com and learn more about the book and also about booking sessions with me. So I don't know about you, but I have been craving a vacation. It's been about 108 in Tucson for the last week or so, and I love the beach, and I got to the point where I was just listening to beach sounds in my headphones for like 4 hours a day because I was just like, I need to get out of here. So my intention for today was to do an energetic vacation, a guided meditation. That's just kind of like a fun, energetic getaway. We've been working hard on these Wind Down Wednesday meditations. We've been working through some emotions and working with self-talk, and then doing some exploration of our internal landscape and the spiritual realms. So my intention was that we would just do something fun and relaxing. And then divine intuition stepped in and said, oh no, that's not what you're doing today. It will still be fun, but it will be a little bit of work. So today we are going to talk about and meditate on joy. And I want to talk briefly about the difference between inner and outer joy. So most of us are raised from a young age to recognize that joy comes from outside of us. Somebody gives you a present, it gives you joy. You have a relationship with someone, it brings you joy. You go on a vacation to the beach, it brings you joy. And the problem with outer joy is that it's always fleeting. Everything outside of us, external circumstances, will always change. So it's very scary to step into external joy when your joy is dependent on something that you can't really control. And what we're going to talk about tonight, what we're going to deal with tonight, is inner joy, is this inner flow of joy that comes straight from the divine, straight from the source, and is available to us at all times to fill us up, to fill that kind of hole we have inside of us that we're always searching to fill with something. And what we really need to fill it with is this spiritual joy, this love, this unconditional divine energy. So that's what we're going to meditate on tonight. And I wanted to just tell a brief story about my experience, because what happens is we're taught to recognize that joy comes from outside of us to the point where we don't know what this internal joy is. So I was fairly newly out of massage school. I think this was back in 2004, and I was seeing a Rolfing practitioner. And Rolfing is a type of body work. It's very intense. It's a 10 series of 10 sessions, and they work specifically on different parts of your body. And the point is to affect your posture and to help your body move better. But what happens during this is that you have a lot of emotional release. We store a lot of emotions in our body. So when you really start getting deeply into the muscles and the fascia, the connective tissue, emotions will come up. So during this process, I got pretty comfortable with this. There was one day that he was working on my lower, like the front of my shin, and I just started crying, and it was like, I don't know what that was. And he said, oh, it's just a trauma you had stored there. And so I was learning about this process, and we were kind of near the end of the sessions, and I was very comfortable with him. And he was working around my pectorals, my chest region, right around my heart center. And I had another emotional release, and it was completely overwhelming. I had no idea what it was, and I started crying, and he just kind of let me finish. That's how that worked. He sort of held space for me so that I could be vulnerable. And when I was done, he said to me, what was that? And I said, I don't know. It wasn't bad, but I don't know. And I was trying to remember when I was thinking about this story today, I think he may have actually said, I think that was joy. And I was like, what? Like, it was just a whew. I don't think that I even processed that for many years. But now looking back, I realized that I was tapping into that flow, that divine flow of joy that's always available inside of us when we get in touch with that area. And it was completely overwhelming to me because I had no idea what it was. So tonight, I want you, as usual, to be gentle with yourself. I'm just looking at my notes to make sure I didn't forget anything. So we are focusing on internal joy. So if we're in this meditation and you start feeling really frightened, like, oh, I'm going to lose this, I'm going to lose this, I'm going to ask you to just keep redirecting back to the meditation. If you have emotions come up, that's fine. Let them come out as usual, but try to focus on this meditation and don't think about the external sources of joy that you're worried about losing. If you need to take a break, you can always take a break. And the last thing I wanted to say tonight that goes kind of along with this before we start the meditation is, once again, I've been calling this a collective practice, and I've been kind of touching on this, I think, in each episode a little bit. But this is an amazing version of a collective practice. So we are not physically in the same place. But the amazing thing about energy work is that it doesn't matter. I can just as easily work on someone in New York City from Tucson as I can from somebody in the same room. And in fact, sometimes it's easier because sometimes the resistance is stronger when the body is right in front of me. So we are doing this practice together. And if you're here with me live on Wednesday right now, we are creating something that is greater than the sum of all of us together. We're creating this beautiful whole where we're all sending our intention, doing this practice together. I'm getting goosebumps while I'm saying this, which is one way that I know that I'm saying something that's exciting to me or that is my intuition is hitting. But the great part about doing this in the privacy of your own home is that no one is physically with you. So if you have an emotional response, if you have an emotional release, nobody is judging you but yourself. And sometimes that's the hardest part. But if we were in a workshop where we were all in the same room, that there would be that added layer of like, oh, is someone looking at me? Blah, blah, blah. So be gentle with yourself. No one is watching you do this. We are here supporting you energetically. Everyone in this practice is putting energy into this, and there is a huge amount of support and love in this practice right now, but no one is judging you. And if you are judging yourself, stop it. I know it's easier said than done, but let it go. If stuff comes up, cry if you need to cry. I was talking to my friend the other day, and she had been watching one of these, and she said, we were doing the meditation and it almost looked like you were going to cry. And I am doing these meditations with you. These meditations, I don't prepare these ahead of time. I have an idea of what we're going to do. They usually the idea comes from my intuition, but the actual meditation is right in the moment. The words are just coming from my higher self, from my divine flow, and I am doing it right there with you. So I might start crying. You never know. And the great thing about that is that we are being vulnerable together, and that is creating this space of safety and love. And again, it's giving me goosebumps while I'm talking about it. So I hope that you feel that. I hope that you're really enjoying these. I am really enjoying doing these. And I think that's all I have to say for today. So let's get started in our meditation. So I'm going to spend a couple minutes getting us nice and grounded and relaxed into the body like we usually do. And then most of the time I will tell you, and I will tell you this tonight, if the imagery that I'm using doesn't work for you, if you're having a hard time visualizing it, you can always just use intention, or you can use what works for you. But I will say for this meditation tonight, I think if you can go with the imagery I'm using, it will be helpful to you. Because for some of us, we're reintroducing ourselves to this inner flow, this divine connection of this loving joy, this inner well of joy. And it might be a little bit overwhelming. It might be a little bit hard to grasp or to picture. So if you can kind of use the picture, the imagery that I am sharing with you, I think that will help you get to the same place that we're all trying to get today, which is to touch in with this amazing well of internal joy. And I want to clarify just really quick before we start. I keep using the word internal joy. So internal, way deep down inside of us, that is divine. That is God. So if I go like this and I'm channeling from the divine, there's no difference between this divine energy that we pull from around us and the energy that we're made of, which is divine, this divine unconditional love, this bliss, this joy. So when we can tap into this flow deep inside of us, it helps us get connected to outside of the physical realm, the spiritual realm where this energy kind of is. But it also helps us open ourselves up from inside and just flow from within and without. And we just get this beautiful, amazing flow of energy. So I'm going to stop babbling now and we're going to start doing some meditation. So, I got too excited. All right. So get yourself nice and situated. Sit up if it's comfortable with your feet on the floor, on the ground. If you're on the floor, then settle your bottom nice and heavy into the earth, into the ground. If you're lying down, that's fine. Let yourself be heavy. But if you feel like you might fall asleep, you might sit back up. Let's start today at the heart center. You can bring your hands to the heart if you like. Take a nice deep breath, just like I did. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Let it out with a nice sigh. Again, there's no one watching you. You can make as much or as little noise as you'd like. Keep your hands on your heart if they're there. Keep your awareness in the chest. But then start to pay attention to your feet. Wiggle your toes a little bit if you want to. Really feel your feet as they connect to the ground. If it feels appropriate, you can even imagine roots coming out of your feet like you're a tree. And these roots tap deep into the earth. That dark, rich, beautiful energy of the earth. And now I want you to bring your attention to the top of your head. You can relax your hands down if you like. Allow the top of your head, your crown chakra, to gently open. And with intention, invite in the joy of the divine, the love of the divine, the beautiful golden light of unconditional love that comes from the source of all that is. Allow it to flow into your head. Let it fill your head, your scalp, your skull, your jaw, your face. Let this beautiful light come into your throat and your neck. Let it come into the upper back, the shoulders. Allow this beautiful flowing golden light to flow down your arms, through the upper arms and into the elbows. Let it come into the forearms and the wrists, the hands. Allow this beautiful love, this light to flow into your chest and upper back. Take a nice deep breath at the heart center. And then let this flow continue down into your upper belly and your mid back. The low belly and low back. Let this relaxation, this beautiful light flow into your hips and your pelvis. Take another deep breath here in the hips. Let it out with a big sigh. let that flow continue down your thighs. Let it come into your knees, pausing here, giving a little extra attention to the knees that provide us with so much support physically and energetically. Take a big breath here if you'd like, and then continue down into the shins and the calves, the ankles and the feet. Notice how your awareness has shifted from the first deep breath you took to this moment. Feeling at home in the body, feeling relaxed. Before we go on our journey today, just take 2 or 3 more breaths. Notice any areas of tension that remain in your body and take a deep breath directly into those areas. Let it out with a sigh. And as you're ready, I want you to start to picture the most beautiful waterfall you've ever seen in your life. The most beautiful waterfall you can imagine. The surroundings of this waterfall are unique to you. Look around and notice that you are in a very safe, a very serene environment. The scenery is exactly what you need at this moment to feel very safe, to feel very calm. You're already starting to feel love in this space. It's a sacred, beautiful space. This connection to your inner flow of joy. Step up to the edge of the waterfall. Notice how big, how powerful it is, but how safe and beautiful it is. This river of water that flows straight from the divine into your body, into your soul. This cascade of beautiful joy and love that flows down just for you in your space. This is a unique area we each carry. Let it be your space. I want you to continue to stand at the edge of this pool, at the edge of this waterfall. Maybe you feel the mist on your face. It's the most beautiful, refreshing feeling you've ever had. This waterfall, this mist, it comes and you feel this as joy. You feel yourself smiling. Maybe you see a color here. If not, that's fine. But let this mist of the waterfall just gently wash over you. No need to jump right in yet. We're just enjoying being here. Maybe you dip your toe into the pool. Again, noticing how sacred this feels, how beautiful this is, how calming it is, and yet how buoyant you feel. Take a moment to let go of anything you came into this space with. You can even throw it into the pool at the bottom of your waterfall. This divine energy will transform anything into love. If you've had worries, if you've been cranky, if you've had physical issues going on, you can leave any of them here. and let yourself feel buoyant, let yourself feel light. There's a beautiful glow coming from the sky. Maybe it's a golden sunlight glow, maybe it's a color. This is unique to your space. Notice this beautiful glow. Maybe it's a purpley dusk. Whatever comes to you is perfect. And now you're sitting on the edge of the pool, just dangling your feet in. The water is the perfect temperature. You're starting to really feel this joy. And if it does become too overwhelming, you can stop at any one of these stages. You can stay here just dangling your legs into this beautiful pool in the beautiful light of divine love here. You can come back here at any time. This space exists within you. This is always accessible to you. But if you feel ready, we're going to go all the way in to this pool at the bottom of your waterfall. It's the perfect depth, whatever that means for you. As you immerse yourself in this water, you notice your physical tension, your physical pain melting away. You notice those worries and cares that you came with continuing to relax for this moment. And now, while you're in this pool, let your heart begin to open. This is a completely safe space. Absolutely nothing can hurt you here. You can open yourself as much as you want to, or as little if you're not ready. That's completely fine. There's no wrong answer here. But if you're ready, you can completely open your heart, open your chest, and take in this joy, this love, this beauty. Let it move you to tears if you feel called to do so. And pause to breathe at any point. You can take a step back at any point if needed. You can stay here in this calm, gentle pool. Or if you'd like, you can go further in to explore the waterfall itself. You can let this beautiful water, this light, this joy, this bliss cascade over your shoulders. It looks so powerful, but when you get into it, it's just the gentlest, most loving touch. Like a beautiful rain falling. And again, if you want, open your heart and let this joy flow directly into your heart center. Let it come into the rest of your body as it feels appropriate. Feel your physical body continuing to relax, continuing to let go of tension and pain. Letting go of the fear that you've been carrying around with you, the anger. Nothing exists in this place except this pure, blissful joy, this glowing light of divine bliss, divine love. Begin to feel part of this waterfall. Let it come completely in to your physical body, to your emotional space, to your energetic space. You're completely surrounded by this beautiful flow of joy and love. And take a moment here, if you'd like, and ask if there are any messages for you today from your divine higher self, from your intuition, from this beautiful place of joy, of love. Maybe you've been struggling with a decision. Let it come into your mind and see if an answer is laid before you. If not, that's okay. You're just opening the space for it to happen if it's meant to happen today. If you're meant to receive any information. Maybe you notice a connection here with somebody you've missed that you haven't seen in a while. Hold them in your heart in this space of joy. Let this joy ripple out. As we come out of the meditation, you can allow this beautiful flow to affect everyone around you in a beautiful way. There is no scarcity here. This flow always exists. You will never run out of joy, of love, when you are tapped into this divine flow. So give it freely. Let your cup overflow, because it will refill from this beautiful waterfall, this beautiful space. Let yourself be cleansed by this water. Any darkness that you've been holding on to, let it wash down and into the pool beneath you. It just gets recycled into love here, completely transformed into love. You can come back to this space anytime you like. You can repeat this meditation as many times as you want to visit this beautiful, joyful space within yourself. Give yourself a few last moments here and invite in an affirmation of joy. I'm going to say a few out loud. You can use any of those, or if something comes to you, then use what comes from your own intuition. I am joy. Divine joy flows through me. I connect to my inner source of divine joy. I am always enough. I am always in joy. Joy is who I am. Give yourself one last moment. Say one of these affirmations out loud to yourself if possible, or in your mind. Let this joy really come in to every cell in your body, to your emotional space, to the energetic fields within and around you. Bring this joy back with you into your home, into your family, into your work. Let this joy ripple out to inspire others to come to this place with you of joy, to find the joy within themselves and connect with you in a deeper way. Take one last big deep breath, let it out with a big sigh in this flow of beautiful water, of joy, of light, of love, of bliss. And then as you're ready, slowly step out of the flow of water, remaining in that pool of joy, very slowly making this transition, honoring yourself, honoring your journey. If you'd like, you can leave a small gift here to remind yourself that this is always available to you. Maybe it's an object in your life that is dear to you. You can leave a picture of one of your family members. Anything that feels appropriate. And if nothing comes to your mind, that's fine. Then it's not the right step for you today. I leave a beautiful sunflower floating in the pool. And then after you've left your gift, let yourself come back so that you're just dangling your feet in the water, your legs. You're still completely connected to this joy. And in fact, leaving this pool does nothing to stop this flow of joy. It's always here. It's always available to you. We're going to bring this flow back with us into the physical body, into our daily lives as we come away. Let yourself step out of the pool. Take a last look around. Notice how beautiful, how serene, how secure you feel here, how safe and loved and loving. Notice one more time what color it is, what kind of scenery surrounds you. This is your space of internal joy. And then very slowly, let yourself begin to come back to the room, to your body, to the space that you're in. Let this joy remain in your heart. Let this flow continue. You can visualize the waterfall in your body coming down through your head and out through your feet into a pool of joy. Right here in your physical body, this waterfall is always flowing. This divine, beautiful, glowing light comes in through the top of the head, flows down through the body, and grounds back down into the earth. You can bring this pool, this flow with you wherever you go in life. You can come back to it and reintroduce yourself to it over and over again until it feels like your space, until you start to carry it with you in your daily life. If you'd like to, you can let the crown of your head gently close. It's up to you. You can leave it open. You're in a safe space. Whatever feels appropriate to you. And one last time, let this energy flow down through the head and the neck, through the arms and shoulders and hands, into the chest and upper back, to the belly and low back, the hips, the thighs and knees, the lower legs and feet. Let yourself come back into the body. I am fully at home in my body. I am fully present in my body. I have fully returned to my body. You can wiggle your toes a little bit. Wiggle your fingers if you want. Just start to slowly move. Remind yourself that you're in a physical form here. But maintain that joyful state for as long as you'd like, as long as it stays with you. One last big deep breath. And let it out with a big sigh. Spend a moment to send gratitude to those who've practiced with you today and to yourself for committing to this practice. As you shift your energy, the energy of the world shifts. And as you're ready, open your eyes. Whew. I'm feeling a little emotional. I don't know about you. I hope you enjoyed that. I enjoyed it very much. It was almost as good as being on an actual beach. Actually, it was probably better, but I encourage you to continue this practice. Come back to these meditations as many times as you'd like. I do have them on my website at paulataylorenergy.com. I also have them on my YouTube channel with a description that tells you what each one is about. As we get into more of these, if you're looking for a certain meditation, that'll be helpful for you to remember which one is which. And briefly before we end, My intention for next week, which may change based on divine intervention, is that we will be returning to our planet, to our energetic sanctuary that we talked about in episode 3. So I encourage you, if you have time, if you feel called to revisit that episode and work with getting comfortable stepping into that energetic sanctuary so that we can build on that next week. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of your evening and your week, and I will see you next week.